One of the things that prevents a lot of folks from getting to the point that they want to is like a goal that they have or manifestation that they're working on, is that they attempt to do some perfect technique now so that they can have something in the future, versus the purpose of any technique is to truly get yourself to feel that way naturally, to change and shift your identity into the identity of someone who has this item or has this type of life or has this thing. And so I want to explain this a little bit more. Actually, Neville Goddard has a lecture where he says it's not my techniques that matter. So if you're unable to visualize, you can use something else, right? Like you don't have to worry about only being able to do this one thing in order to manifest the life that you want or to create the life that you want. You can just shift your identity through many different ways. And so if you've been struggling or are new to the law of assumption, or really are kind of in the spot where you're like, man, I want to make changes to my life, but I'm not sure how to, and I don't know what technique is perfect, you may find yourself in a cycle of searching for a perfect technique. And this is where folks find themselves like looking online constantly for the next new video or the next new Reddit post. Or, you know, I noticed I went back to posting to Reddit for just a little bit. And one of the things I noticed was that everyone wanted me to give, not everyone, but the people that would comment a lot wanted me to give them something very specific answer to them. They wanted to explain, okay, here's my situation. How in the world do I get the things that I want in this situation, right? And like, here's this like perfect detailed situation. How do I get what I want out of this? And what I try to explain to folks is that it doesn't matter what your circumstances are. It doesn't matter what's going on in your life. Now it matters on a human level, right? Is that I care that you're going through this stuff, and I know how frustrating it can be when you're like trying to make changes and it's just not working. And you're like, what the heck? Like I need to get this done. But overcoming the need for somebody to tell you a perfect quote unquote technique in order for you to create the life that you want will get you very far. And one of the things to do is to shift this mindset from, if I do XYZ thing tonight, I'll have ABC thing tomorrow when I wake up. And what I mean by that is folks that are looking to do things like, let's say, a revision technique, or they're attempting to do like a visualization or affirmations, and they want to do it now so that they can have something in the future. They're not making any changes to their current feelings of naturalness. They're not making any changes to their identity. It actually is usually creating a cycle of feeling very desperate. And the more that you feel desperate, the more that's actually the feeling then that you're putting out, is a desperate feeling of, I need this to happen. I need to do this just perfectly so that I can have this thing, because without that thing, I can't feel fulfilled. You don't want to seek the happiness in the event, because a lot of times, and I know this sounds super cheesy, the journey is part of the fun, right? The journey is really what we're on, because once you hit that one thing, you're going to want something else. Let's say that you want a person. Well, once you get that person, you're going to want a great relationship with them. You're going to want loyalty. You're going to want children. You're going to want a house. You're going to want something. There's always something more. Human beings are kind of designed to look for more. And I actually believe that that is because we are designed to figure out how to manipulate and use energy for our, to grow and expand. And the more that you want, the more that you're teaching yourself how to grow and expand. And so I think this is kind of what that comes down to. But so when you're doing a technique, instead of viewing it as, if I do this thing today, I can have something tomorrow, it's really about generating the feeling of having it right now in reality. Not I'm faking this so that I feel it so I can have tomorrow. Not that if I don't do this perfect or I don't sense it perfect, I can't have it. It's about literally having it for real now. And one of the mindset shifts that helped me on this journey for myself was to stop looking at things as if they were a wish in the future or a hope in the future. And instead I started to say, if I can envision it, if I can imagine it, and I have a desire for it, that means that it exists on some sort of level. All of creation is finished, which means that it does exist. If I have desire for it, It's some other version of me, the future version of me that already exists, that's already there, that has the life that I want, that's calling me to it. So I don't need to go seek it. I need to just select it and then have it come to me. Because, right, we're always only in the present moment. We are moving through the present moments that we have. Anything in the past is just a memory. Anything in the future is just a vision, right? So you've got to figure out how to feel in this present moment that things are real, because they are. If I desire it, I know that that's available to me. And look, I'm going to be the first one to say that is sometimes easier said than done. I have things in my own life that I'm like, I know, I can actually see that my mindset is not on point with them, that I have inner conversations that are completely in opposition of what I want. And I have to consciously work on those constantly, right? It's a lot of beliefs to overcome. It's a lot of things that are holding me back. So I understand that sometimes it's like, yeah, that's really easy, but that's not, or easily said, but not always easily done. And I get that point. Some of it can be super simple, and some of it just takes a little bit more time, focus, and concentrated effort, right? And not effort as in forcing it, but concentrated effort in saying, okay, I realize that my mindset is not aligned to this. I know, though, that that's available to me, and so now I'm just going to select it. So instead of trying to force something to happen, I'm going to make a selection that that is the experience that I would like to have. And once that selection is made, bam, it's real and it's coming for me, right? So anything that you select, you can actually have. I firmly believe this, and I've watched it play out in my own life many times, where things that would really not make any sense just end up happening and working out in obscene, crazy ways, because I have selected it. And if I've selected it, it's available to me, right? Like, I don't have to force anything to come to me. I don't have to, make sure that I do something 50 times per day, or that I visualize absolutely perfectly. That's not really part of this. But it's not to do a technique to have something. The techniques are just to help you obtain the feeling of actually having it and shifting your own identity. So I hope that makes sense. If you enjoyed it, please make sure that you subscribe so you don't miss any of my content. I would absolutely love that. If you have any questions, you can pop them down below, and I will definitely be very happy to answer. And I wish you nothing but the best.